Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Swift Challenger 560. These are essentially a basic run through on how to set up and operate your caravan as if you were coming on or off site. So starting off first, you've got your black hitch head at the front here with black lever, which you have to have lined up, so then you can wind the jockey wheel down onto the tow ball. In turn that will snap it down, push up that red button and expose a green ring. You've got a breakaway cable at the bottom. The breakaway cable has to be used on the eye point if you have one, if not, wrap it around the tow bar. You then have your handbrake just here, which you just have to push up and down, and you have 13-pin electric just here. So if you do have 7-pin adaptation on your car, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. Then you've got your jockey wheel at the side. So we are using our test equipment today here. So I have here a red propane gas bottle with an in-date gas hose here, as you can see, production date 2025. With these, the gas hoses that are black run for 5 years and orange run for 10. Then you can see it connects onto this regulator just here. Hand tighten that as much as you can and then essentially just nip it up using a spanner. You don't want to put too much pressure on the O-ring though, as it can cause it to crack and break the gas leads. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back. You have inserts for your legs. The caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill just to make it that bit quicker. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs though, they're simply used for stabilisation. On the opposing side, starting off first, we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Then have an ack roll just here full of clean drinking water and your water pump. So your water pump can be removed by pressing in on the trigger and then pulling out just like so. Now this is on a trigger system, so to insert it you just press it in. You then have this plastic cap to go over the top of the ack roll to make sure no nastiness gets in. Then at the bottom you have your strainer. It's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel, as otherwise it's just going to lead to coughs and splutters. Now, as you can see, they do have a little bit of a tendency of curling up. So my recommendation is getting some PVC tubing, some old hose pipe or something like that to wrap around the bottom so it's always straight. And as you can see, for inserting, just press it in. Can't be removed without pressing in the trigger. Just next to it, we have your battery locker. This example does already have a battery fitted. If you ever need to take it off though, the terminals are connecting on with 12mm nuts, so just have a spanner handy. Then you have your plug-in for your mains just here. Slots in nice and easy. Has a little bit of a cutout so you can lock it up whilst on site. This example does also have a motor mover, which will be gone over on collection. And the last bits, we have your toilet function. So underneath here, we have the points where both your wastewater from your toilet and your shower, not your toilet, sorry, your sinks and your shower will come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe that you can then feed into a waste master. Then just here, we have your cassette toilet. So I will show you later on in another video when you know that the cassette is full, but to remove it, press up on the handle and pull out just like so. Now you can also extend this handle up and out to essentially operate similar to a walk-on suitcase. Then once you've got to your emptying point on site, twist that head to the side, open up that cap, and what you need to do is tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing that vent button. Then what I would recommend afterwards, open up that compartment, feed in some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurements of both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into that cap, back onto this compartment just here, twist, back to the sides, and then push in so that orange handle sits behind those white teeth. Then just up above we have your flush tank compartment. This can hold 12 litres of water, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill it. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just up here you have a little bit of a bung to drain out any remaining water from this system. Also make sure do not put bleach inside the toilet. You can add something what's called pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive. As well, the caravan will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side front lounge, you have all of this here, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything under. Under that compartment you have your boiler, which you have a panel there which you can pull back if you ever need to do a reset. You have your two flow jets here, which are what will push around the water across the system, and that's all connected through these blue leads. Now, as you can see here, you have a drain valve. That drain valve, when it's in the horizontal position as it is now, that is allowing the flow of water to come through. When you switch it up to the vertical position, that will drain off any remaining water inside the system. We will leave the caravan when you take it away with that in the vertical position to ensure that it's been fully drained off. November to March, have that up permanently, and anytime you come off site, just make sure that you've left with that in the upright position. Then just here we have your brain box for your motor mover. Again, if you ever need to do a reset, you have the silver box on the side, which is your battery charger, and then you have both your trips and your fuses. Other way around, I know, but it's how I say it. I'd always recommend for you to carry some extra fuses inside the caravan as well, just in case one were to go out. And then you can see here, heating and hot water and charger are both illuminated, meaning that they're both operating. And then you have a reverse polarity button just here. Then lastly, you have a system shutdown button. Press that in, nothing inside the caravan is able to operate. Now, if you do need some more information on your trips and fuses, you can pull down this panel here, and it's got a bit of information stuck to it. Then up here we have your Swift command board, which is your main control panel. Press it in there and you can come to this screen. So this is your home screen, tells you the internal and external temperatures of the caravan. So 20 inside, 16 outside. The humidity, the time and date, and the leisure battery power. Now, as the leisure battery is currently plugged in, it's going to give a misinformed reading. So going through this, you've got a couple of options. So you have your pump button just here. You press that in. You have to essentially ensure that your drain valve is in the correct position and that your taps are down, at least for the moment. And essentially what that is doing, that is pulling the water from outside the Acroll into the boiler itself. You can hear it get pulled through. Then once the boiler is full, it will cut off. Anytime you open up a tap and drain out some water, it will replace itself. So as we haven't had it plugged in on at least today, what we're going to do is allow that to circulate through, and then we'll come back to it in about 2 to 3 minutes and show you that working. Then you have your awning light. Press that in, go to the outside, and as you can see, awning light is on. Then we have lighting. So this is for internal lighting here. So you have the amount that you can dim it. So this light 2 is for the front. So as you can see, when I press it, gradually gets a bit dimmer, and then we'll go up. And that goes down in 5. So when I press in on the center, turns itself off, press in again, come up, turns itself back on, and that is for the back of the caravan. Then we have power. So right now, as you can see, it says 14.1 volts are coming from the leisure battery. However, because we're plugged into mains, that is the amount coming from the mains. When we're not plugged in, that can show the accurate representation. Then you can see the amount coming from solar and vehicle. And then you can see the AC current, where you can also set a limit for it. Then this one has been modulated, so essentially you can operate the heating. So the Alder Wet Central Heating has a panel here, but you can also control it just here. Now both of these are the same system. So when I press in, let's say for example I were to have the air temperature set to I heater control panel busy on that one. So because I've got this on, essentially it's the same thing just here. So we'll come over to this side just so I can show you. So internal temperature starts at 5, works all its way up to 30 by pressing in, and as you can see, when I press on that panel, it appears on that panel, so it's gone up to 6. So I'm just going to take that off for a second just so it's not delayed. So I could go all the way up to 30 with that one. I could also press and hold on the panel. So whatever I set it to, it will get to that temperature, and it usually takes around about an hour. Then you have the water temperature, which is that shower icon. So the shower icon itself, you can have it off as it is now, halfway, which will get the water temperature to around about 40 to 50 degrees, or full. Now what full does, it will prioritize the water heat over the heating of the actual caravan for around about an hour or so, and then once it's got up to that temperature of about 60-70 degrees, it will drop it back down to midway. So it's ideal if you're wanting to use the shower or something like that in the morning. Then we have your energy sources for heating. So you can either have 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts of mains, or you can have gas, or you can have a mixture of gas of 1, 2 and 3. So you do have the option of gas mains or a mixture of both. Okay, then you do have some additional settings for this panel, which I'm not going to run through, but please have a look inside your book pack if you'd like to see them. But when I go back to this panel on heating, as you can see, it's 12 there, set to 12, and there's a couple of options such as manual, timer or app. Now there is a Swift Command app where you can operate everything off. Then you could either run electric, gas or water, the same as you would do there. Then got some additional settings for this panel. So you've got the time, you've got the date, you've got the day, screen brightness, screen timeout, and then pairing for Bluetooth here as well. So you can pair a couple of devices for Bluetooth. Key beep, so essentially when I press in on something you hear a beep noise, and a night mode. Then we have the radio. So for the radio controls, you do have just next to it a plug-in for an aux if you wanted to do so. But everything else you can run from here. So you've got a couple of modes. So you've got off, FM, and then you just tune and scan like you would do a normal radio. DAB, aux cord as I mentioned inside here, or off. Now you can also connect via Bluetooth as well. Set your presets like you would do on a normal radio and change your volume. There's also a fridge panel just here, which I'm going to run through on the fridge video. But quick summary: water pump, awning light, internal lights, power, heating, which is the same as that panel, settings, radio. And as we've had this run for about 2 to 3 minutes, open up on both hot and cold. And what you're looking for essentially is this nice, steady, continuous stream. Now, if there's any coughs or splutters, go outside, check to make sure that the strainer is sat at the bottom of the barrel. As you can hear, when the water is coming out, it is also being replaced. So check on both hot and cold, and let this run for around about 30 seconds when you first initially plug in. Make sure the drain valve's in the correct position and that the water temperature is all good if you've had the water temperature set. So I've just checked it on that one. You can also check it on your other taps as well. So that's how to run this panel. Then just here we have the aforementioned fridge panel. So I'll show you on here first, then I'll show you on that command panel. So the fridge is on right now, which I can turn the fridge on using this button. Same for turning it off. I then have 4 different sources that I can use. So I can either use mains, auto, the battery symbol, which is representative of 13-pin electric. It does not represent leisure battery or gas, and I can change the source using this button. So press it once, goes over to auto. Now auto chooses mains as the best source to use. When I flick it over to the battery symbol, as we're not plugged in, it begins to flash up and beep. Then we've got gas. Now for gas, You'll gradually hear it ticking. Then once it's finished ticking, that means it is then lit. Then we have the amount of power coming in from the fridge. So we either have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, and I can change that power using this button here. So 13 pin, gas, mains, auto, and a hazard button. Now it's a very similar concept up here. As you can see, there's the border to show you that the fridge is on, and I can control it here. So currently got it on gas there, so press auto on that panel, goes on auto on there, and it comes up with mains. The setting is the amount of power coming into the fridge, so 5 being the max, 1 being the minimum. So as you can see, it's changed on there again, so we'll just put it onto there, and it gives me an indication of the temperature for the fridge. So the fridge does take around about 4 hours to fully chill. So right now it's telling me that the fridge is warm. So that's how to operate your fridge. Now unfortunately you can't use the hob grill and oven with the Swift command system. This is all operating on gas minus the electric plate. The electric plate, spin it to whatever gas mark and it will get to that temperature. Everything else you have to press in, twist to the side, press in your igniter. Same as any sort of standard gas cooker that you might have at home. Now with this, it may be a case that the gas will light even at first, and then the flame will die out. That's only really when you've come to first use it. Just restart it again. It's the gas making its way through the system and pushing out any air. So this is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see, all your burners nice and lit. Turn it off back to the central position. Again to the grill. As you can see, the grill is all nice and lit. Then lastly, we have your oven. So let me see if I can do this with one hand. There you go, oven all nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you want to make sure that you travel with your gas off. You can have your gas hose on, but make sure the bottle itself is off, and make sure that you travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all of these are cold to the touch. And just here we have the toilet operation, which is bulk simple. Press this button in and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push around any water inside the flush tank system. Then to release the waste, press away the handle, opens up the cassette, close it back, otherwise you're not able to remove the cassette. And when the cassette is full, there'll be a red icon come on underneath there telling you to empty it.